All right, let's talk about AI. Every company, and I mean every company, is talking about it. But how many have a real plan? How do you actually go from a buzzword that's all over the news to a real business strategy? Well, today, we're going to break down a practical blueprint for how to do just that.
So here it is, the big question. This is the one that's keeping leaders up at night. Because the AI revolution, it isn't some far-off thing on the horizon, it's happening right now. But being ready isn't just about buying the latest, fanciest software. It's so much deeper. It's about your strategy, your security, and maybe most importantly, your people. So how do you know if you're really prepared?
For a lot of businesses, the journey starts right here, with a pretty major challenge. It's this feeling of being caught between all the hype and the day-to-day reality, and it can lead to a kind of paralysis. We can call it the AI uncertainty problem.
In this uncertainty, it's a really powerful thing. It's this weird mix of fearing you'll be left behind, but also being terrified of making a super expensive mistake. So companies know they have to do something, but they're just not sure what's step one. Who do we train? Which tools are even worth it? And that hesitation can turn a massive opportunity into what feels like an impossible mountain to climb.
So how do you break through all that uncertainty? The answer is pretty simple: with a plan. A clear, structured framework is basically the antidote to confusion. It gives you a roadmap, a path forward, and it turns all that anxiety into a real, concrete strategy for making a change.
To build a solid AI strategy, you can't just focus on one thing. You've got to have this holistic, three-pillar approach. Think of it like a three-legged stool. First, you need the tech itself, the actual AI and machine learning implementation. Then, you need a team that knows how to use it. That's the workforce transformation piece. And finally, you absolutely 100% have to protect your systems. And that's where cybersecurity comes in. If any one of those legs is weak, the whole thing just tips over.
Okay, so before you can build anything, you need to know what you're building on. The first real step in any kind of transformation is just understanding where you're starting from. You can't chart a course to your destination if you don't even know where you are on the map, right?
And this is where a tool like the AI Readiness and Resilience Benchmark, or AIRB, comes into play. Just think of it like a diagnostic checkup for your whole organization. It's a systematic way to measure your current capabilities and pinpoint exactly where your strengths are and, just as important, where your weaknesses are when it comes to bringing on AI.
So how does a diagnostic like that actually work? Well, it takes this big, kind of fuzzy idea of readiness and breaks it down into 5 very specific, very crucial areas. And focusing on these 5 things is what takes a company from that vague feeling of, I don't think we're ready, to having a clear, data-driven map of the specific things that need attention.
Because at the end of the day, the goal isn't just to get a score or a grade, it's to get clarity. This whole process is about building a bridge that can take an organization from that paralyzing AI uncertainty and lead them directly to real strategic opportunity.
Now, once you have that clear picture of where you stand, the focus immediately shifts to the most critical element in all of this, your people. Because, let's face it, AI is just a tool. The real transformation, the magic, it happens when you empower your team to use that tool effectively.
And this is so important. The whole narrative is not about replacing people with algorithms. It's about creating AI-assisted humans. This is a fundamental shift in thinking. The strategy is all about augmentation, giving your team the skills and the tools they need to be smarter, faster, and more innovative. It's about empowerment, not replacement.
This whole journey really boils down to 3 logical steps. Step 1, assess your preparedness. You got to know what skill gaps you have before you can fix them. Step 2, equip your team. We're not talking about generic courses, but targeted training on the specific skills they actually need. And finally, step 3, integrate the right AI tools, so all that new knowledge can be put into practice right away. Each step builds on the last. That's how you make the change stick.
So when you combine all these elements, you've got a clear assessment, a skilled workforce, and the right technology, the entire posture of the organization just begins to change. You move from being in a defensive crouch to having a confident, forward-leaning stance.
And this is the transformation in a nutshell. Instead of being reactive to whatever the market throws at you, the organization becomes proactive in shaping its own future. That awful feeling of paralyzing uncertainty gets replaced by a clear, actionable strategy. And maybe most importantly, AI stops feeling like some huge risk you have to manage, and it starts looking like the powerful opportunity it really is.
Which kind of leaves us with this final thought. In today's world, every organization is facing this dilemma.
And yeah, moving too fast on AI without a plan definitely has its dangers. But the framework we've just walked through really suggests that the biggest risk of all might just be standing still, stuck in that uncertainty while the rest of the world moves forward. So what do you think?